Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Voices for KERN. My name is Dylan. I am your moderator for today. Today I have with me...
Hi, I'm Leslie.
I am Alex.
I'm Bella.
I'm Dylan, I think, again. Okay. How are you guys? How are you guys doing for today?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. Really relaxed today.
I'm ready for a nap.
For a nap? It's like, okay.
Okay.
Feels like a nice day to go out for a walk.
Really? In the biggest old heat? Would you want?
Well, when it's like shady, like at night, like
Just sweat it off, bro.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay. Today we're going to be talking about jobs. In the sense of trying to survive without a job, the hardships of looking for a job, and I guess going through that experience of like having to develop your resumes for the first time and like seeing how to apply for jobs with like no resume experience. That can be pretty tough. So I guess, Leslie, what was your first job, and would you say it was like a really, I guess, difficult experience trying to like apply for your first job? Or yeah, tell me about it.
So my very first job was actually in high school. I did the snack bar.
Oh, the snack.
And it was, the process of applying was actually like the most trickiest part, mainly because it's such a popular job. Like you actually do get paid, you get money, you get to go into the football games for free. Any game that they were having, even like basketball stuff, like you would go in for free. Like you would work, but like you would still get to see most of the game.
This was like during like school hours? Or,
Yeah.
oh, so what? You just wanted to work without doing your classes, or like?
Well, sometimes it would be like last period.
Oh.
So you would
okay,
get
okay,
slips, or like if you work during lunch, like you would get out 10 to 15 minutes early just to set up. But the process of applying, you needed recommendations from teachers, and if you weren't like a well-established like student with your teachers, like you weren't gonna get the job. And then there was just like a lot of requirements, like you had to have a certain GPA. Which I guess makes sense because you kind of want kids that are responsible with this stuff. Like you're handling money, you're dealing with other kids. Like if you're gonna be frustrated and someone gives you attitude and you're gonna want to fight them, like that's probably not the job for you.
And also, like if you have low GPA, you probably should focus on your classes.
Yeah, I guess that's also a really good point.
Oh, okay. Alex, what was your first job like? Oh wait, what was your first job like? And I guess what would you say was the hardest like part of applying for it and stuff like that?
I don't have a job.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I treat Time for Change like a job, and it was not hard at all because I had Bella. She was just like, "Come on in," and then I was like, all right. And then they just were like, "Okay, fill out the application." They didn't even interview me or anything. They were just like, "Fill it out, and we'll take you in." And I was like, "All right, sweet." So,
were you ever like? Are you trying to find a job right now, or like are we or
right
before
now,
maybe?
Right now I am, but I need to focus on my resume, but I low-key don't know what to put on it anymore because I don't want to use like high school information because like that stuff's irrelevant now because I'm class of 20. Yeah, so when I was in college, some lady came in with a whole presentation on how to do resumes, but I low-key like was out of it, so I wasn't paying attention. But like one thing I heard her say was it's okay to put high school information as a freshman, but try and avoid it after freshman year because that stuff's not relevant anymore.
Well, what do you mean by like relevant though? Because there's a lot of stuff in high school you do that could be cool in a resume. No?
No, it's pretty outdated, especially if you're a junior or senior.
Really?
They ask you like for like, okay, so if you're, I guess, still in high school, if you just graduated high school, they ask like what accomplishments did you make in high school or what were you active in high school, which is like, you know, it's pretty big as a high school student, but like compared to college, it was like, yeah, I did a sport in high school. Like, what about it?
Well, I mean, it's like, it's not just sports. I mean, if I'm like trying to apply to Target, I feel like the employer at Target would like someone who was like, what? And like, there's like community service clubs at school and like.
I mean, yeah, but you can still do that as an adult. So if you did it in high school, why not do it right now for a current resume? Like, it like, what you did in high school is stuff you can very much do as an adult outside of high school. So it's all outdated.
Okay. So would you say to like not put any high school stuff?
Yeah, like kind of bums me out because I had a lot to add to my resume because I was just very much active in high school, but they turned me down because of my age.
Oh.
So it was like, yeah, your resume looks great.
I feel like you can't do that.
No.
Right? Isn't that like you can't discriminate against age or something like that?
not if they're not an adult. Some jobs you actually have to,
Some-
because
Right.
if she's 17, she needs parent permission. Like it would be communication between like the employer and then the parent, not the employee and the employer and the employee. Like
Yeah, I was 17. They were like, man, get out of here. And I was like, all right. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bella, what was your first job like, and what would you say was like the hardest part of like applying for and obtaining that job?
Well, here's the thing. Like, my first job was technically a Sunday school teacher when I was 12, but I didn't really apply for that. And then, like, when I got to college, the only thing that I applied for was College Corps, which is an internship. But I guess if you want to, like, consider, like, my first job as something that I actually had to build a resume for and actually had to, like, fill all this out, it was the Boys and Girls Club. And uh, for the Boys and Girls Club, I pretty much had everything that was required to like apply. I had the high school diploma. I had enough credits to like to apply, and then I had like all the basic paperwork, like my birth certificate and my social security. Um, I think the difficulties of maintaining that job is just like having a lot of patience and like actually managing your time a lot, because you are going to be dealing with like a lot of kids, and not just like just one set of kids in like one school. I actually had to go to like different schools around Bakersfield, and then like just learning each of the environment. And like there could be some schools where like like the kids are like their absolute best. There's only like a few like ones that I'm having trouble with, and it could be like the smoothest day ever. And then there's somewhere it's like those kids are actually terrible.
So
but
what did the job like consist of? Like you went to different schools
it's
and
like I was a sub for like an activity
Oh.
planner for the after school program. So I basically had to like sub for a certain grade and like just come up with an activity for them to do. Sometimes I would get like most of the time I would get the younger kids because the most subs require. They would mostly want you to like sub with the younger ones because they're a lot to handle. But I did get like a lot of the older ones too. I even went to like a couple of middle schools to plan out an activity. But yeah, it was definitely more challenging when I got the littler ones, because I feel like with the older ones you could actually like you have like control over them, and especially since like they have that more understanding of they know what to do, and like they aren't as like active as the smaller ones. But
right.
yeah, it's the smaller ones that are allowed to handle.
Cool. Okay, so what would you guys say is like so you're unemployed.
Hey guys, I'm
Um,
scared of job applications.
What would you say is like the hardships of, I guess, well, it's a two-parter. Like, there's a stigma against being unemployed. What would you say is catering to that kind of stigma? And so, like, do you guys think is that stigma valid? Am I, um, is everyone like supposed to get a job right as they turn like 16 or 18 or stuff like that? Is it okay to be unemployed or that kind of stuff like that? What do you think, Alex?
I feel like it depends on your household.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's some parents that are like I've met a couple people where they have like parents that have that mentality of like, my child's 18, so they need to get going. And some other ones are like, focus on your education first. We'll like help you with bills and stuff as long as you get an education, which is how my parents are like. They still kind of want me to like get a job, which I've been trying to find one, but it's also like really hard because people are jerks when it comes to hiring. But yeah, I feel like a lot of it has to do with households and like people's mentalities, like whether I'm okay without a job or like no, I need money, so I need a job.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of different cultures have different ideas or like mentalities when it comes to jobs and education. I know that a lot of parents, like sometimes they'll look at their kids and they'll look at their grades and be like, maybe you should just help me by working. And others would be like, oh, you're more favorable in like school, like you're actually excelling, like maybe we should give you a shot, like maybe you should go. Like I know a lot of my cousins, most of them didn't go to college because they weren't good at school, and a lot of them felt like it was completely useless. They're like, I'd rather just get a job. But it's LA, so it was a lot easier for them to find jobs, and they
Right.
had a lot of connections, and so to them there was no problem with that. But here it's a little different because you have so many requirements. Like you have to kind of already be a little bit well established. Your education is very important, but outside of education is also extremely important. Like you have to have those soft skills already embedded into you. You need to know like how to communicate, like, you know, how to have proper attitude, because a lot of it's like it's weird because a lot of jobs, like, I guess a lot of employers have this already like stigma about us, like the Gen Zs. They're like, they're lazy, they don't want to work. And I was like, no, we want to work, but we want to be fair. Like, we're not just gonna let you tell us one day you have to work 10 hours and then the next week you only have us for like 5.
And also, Gen Z is lazy, but then we tried to look for jobs and then no one's hiring us. So
I know. It's like, okay.
They don't
Yeah.
even have like the decency to like at least reach out and be like, hey, you didn't get the job. Like,
Because most of the time, it's not even like a person behind the screen. It's like an automated system that just
mine
filters.
was an actual manager.
Yeah?
It got me mad. Yes, because I
Crazy.
applied for a job and it was a pretty good paying job, and all I had to do was restock, and it was like 18 hours, like $18 an hour. We'd give you like benefits like healthcare and all that kind of stuff. So I was like,
crazy.
say less. And I found out that job through my aunt because she was working there, and she was like, just apply. You'll probably get the job, and you'll be working with me. And I'm like, sweet. So I did. My resume looked fine, pristine, because I was fresh out of high school. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get this job, get my money up, not my funny up. I applied, and I waited and waited and waited, and I never got like any email, no phone call, no nothing. I even had their number saved. I was like, you know, and I was just like very much like SpongeBob, where I'm like, I'm ready. And, eventually I told my mom, I was like, can you ask my aunt like what the heck's going on? And so she's like, yeah, I'll ask. So she did. She was just like, I don't even think the manager saw your thing. I'll let her know right now. So I was like, okay. So then she did. Couple weeks passed by. She reached out to my mom. She was like, yeah, the manager told me no. And I was like, well,
Crazy.
could you not have phone called me that? Like, you're a manager and you can't have like, you're an adult and you can't have simple communication with me. Like, why am I better communicating with my aunt than
Right.
you are with me? Like, that's weird. And so I was just like, you know what, whatever. I didn't need that job anyways. Too good for it. But
Before I was employed at Time for Change, I was obviously trying to look for a job, and I applied to like so many places. I was like spamming applications left and right every single day, and I've been employed at Time for Change for like a couple years now. No, like a year and a half, I think. And to this day, I'm still getting like responses from those applications like a year and a half ago, which is crazy,
they need
bro.
to come to me.
Which is crazy. They're offering me interviews, and then but most of the time it's just you didn't get the job, and I'm like, dude, that was like half a year ago, or like a year and a half ago. So that's wild. But
Yeah.
but yeah, Leslie. So do you think you getting a job in high school was a result of your family like pressuring you into like the workforce and stuff? Because you started at such a young age, like you were 16 and boom, you were eligible for the workforce and you just immediately got a job. Was that a result, do you think, of like those familial expectations maybe?
I don't necessarily, I don't think so. To be honest, I think it kind of pressured my siblings a little bit more, like than it did me, because now the expectations was higher for them. You know, like your parents are always like, oh, you're the older sister, you have to be, you know, like they look up, your younger sisters look up to you, you're the role model, right? So when I was in high school, I was like, I don't want to be in the house. Like, I want to be out. I want to do high school stuff. I want to like be out there. And so this job actually really did help me a lot. It created a lot of good friends and was like very close with like a bunch of like the sports teams because we communicated a lot, which was great for my social expectations, like, well, for my social like standing. But the expectations between like my parents and my siblings like rose. Now they're like, oh, you should go and get that job when you enter high school because it paid for everything. I used that money to pay for my senior year, like entire senior year trip, photo, like album, the sunset, the graduate, like cap and gown, everything that you had to pay for senior year, which adds up a lot. And I still had like, I think 150 bucks extra that they gave me in cash.
So you paid for all of that?
I paid for all of it, and I was like, really ecstatic because at the time my parents were going through like financial troubles, which I was like, oh, I most likely would not have been able to. But now that they're financially doing okay, like my siblings don't have that mentality of being like, I need to help. Like I should probably work here.
You know, to piggyback off of that, I remember like before I even started high school, my parents did not want me to get a job at all. Like
Really?
they just wanted me to like focus on my education and just like, you know, use like my money to like buy like my, you know, just like the books and all that stuff and then like my basic needs. But like I was just like, but it was like around the time when I also applied for college corps and like when they saw that I was able to manage like both school and manage college corp at the same time, that's when they kind of put like the pressure on Alex to like also get a job at the time too. So like it was like okay.
I said heck no.
It was like,
So we have, I guess, we have these like familial expectations from our different families, different cultures, and different, I guess, environments, and we also have that struggle of not hearing anything back, and like this whole society calling us lazy and stuff when we're actually trying to find jobs, but not hearing anything like years later, which is crazy. What would you guys say is the number one reason or barrier when it comes to youth finding a job?
Fear.
Fear?
Fear.
Fear of what?
Fear of just like failure, fear of having someone constantly watching you, like, cause like you can't do anything. I feel like a lot of this generation is like very much on like liberty and freedom, but like you can't be acting that way in a job. You know, like you could lose it. Now you have the pressure of just like, okay, I have to maintain a certain mentality or mindset. I can't be treating people the way I used to. Like I have no patience. That means I can't literally like beat up this customer if they get on my nerves. It's just I know I fear a lot. Like when I was applying here, it like kind of got me scared because I was like, darn, now I have a boss. Now like if I'm like too goofy or if I'm too loud, like they're gonna be like, you're fired. So it like scared me a lot just having like someone watching you or like now having the change of schedule. Like now I have to like drop certain stuff when I used to have free time. Like I know for me, like I have a lot of free time, so I like to just do random stuff like play guitar or sew or stuff. But like now it's like, darn, I can't do that stuff no more. And when I have the time, it's probably going to be going towards like just relaxing, because like it's like when am I ever gonna get that time for myself, you know? So
I think a lot of it has to do with time too. Like so many high school like kids or students, like they know if they want to get into like they've already been embedded in their mind that like college is a must, because if not, you're not gonna get a job, you're not gonna get a good job. You know, it's also like with that stigma of like fast food restaurants, like if you don't pass this class, you're gonna work at McDonald's, like
Which
you're
is
gonna,
crazy.
which is like insane because it's like it's a job. Like
Yeah.
you're still working, you're getting you're getting money.
Your bag, bro.
Like there should be no reason why you don't want to work at McDonald's. Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, get your education, but like don't be ashamed of like job
Working when there's
opportunities.
like a lot of literal barriers when it comes to finding employment for all ages,
Exactly.
not just for youth, but like for anyone. So if you're like working, then you're good, dude. Like you're cool.
Yeah, but a
that's
lot.
what I think. Like I can at least say like I'm getting my bag, and I can.
What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you
It's
doing?
a lot. It's because a lot of these teens like they know that like grades aren't just like the one thing that colleges look at. They look at your extracurriculars and like what you do outside of school. Like they want you to be like the most outstanding person you could be, and that cuts down like their entire day. Like they have school, then they have their activities, and then they go home, and some can't even go home and relax. Some have to go home and watch the siblings. Some have to go home and clean the house. Like they have responsibilities at home.
Or they have to go home, or no, they have to get done with their job and then go to another job. They have, because some people, including me, I work 2 jobs because I have a lot of bills and bills suck, and I don't have any time anymore. But I work 2 jobs. But what do you guys think about like? Do you guys think most people work 2 jobs to pay like ends meet, or like is it? Are we living somewhere where it's like almost normalized to work those two jobs? Or
feel so, because like even like maybe it's not like just like in like California in general, but I know like I've seen a lot of people saying like, oh, you know, working one job can't even like help you afford an apartment or pay the rent. You have to have like two jobs. And I know I kind of had the experience of like having two separate jobs because like I had like the Boys and Girls Club, and then I also had my thing with College Corps, and you know it did help me pay my car big time, but like I know it's not gonna really help me like when it comes to like paying like for because I want to save up for a house, man. But I just need like I just need like to make enough to like put a down payment, but still like yeah. But
What do you guys think?
I think that I grew up with a family that always had two jobs. Like I felt like to
And
me that
most of your
was
family?
a lot of my family had that. Like they always had two jobs. Like they that's why they relied so much on like the siblings, older
Right.
siblings, to take care of the kids because they would wake up like at 5 in the morning or sometimes 4, go to work, come back like around 4, and then have 1 hour, and then they would have to go work their night job. And like that's 1 hour of rest, not even. Like that's 1 hour of like maybe 30 minutes because the drive there and the drive to the other job, like you have 30 minutes to eat, and then you go to your other job, and then you could have like 3 hours of sleep when you get back and do the whole routine all over again. Like you don't have time to think about like what else is going on when you actually have to.
If you guys had to like maybe picture talking to your like past selves or younger selves, or talking to anyone trying to find a job right now, what would you guys like tell them to? What's like one piece of advice you would tell them to tell these people trying to find their first entry level jobs, and like what to expect, and I guess the worst parts of it, and what to be ready for, basically.
I think I would say just to be more confident in yourself and the skills that you have. I feel like a lot of the times I like look at myself and I'm like, I actually don't know how to do a lot of stuff. But then when I'm actually working and doing these things, I was like, I can do a lot of things. Like all you gotta do is just ask me and I'll figure it out. I'll get it done. Just let me know. But just being confident and just like actually like not having that fear of just being rejected, or just like
Or, like,
not
not being
wanting
able
or
to
not
do-
wanting to do something that you've never done before.
Right. Yeah. So I guess be more confident, and then
I don't have a job, so I'm just hearing what they say and seeing if.
I guess just like try not to focus on like the one you apply for. Like there are other options, like because I know like I remember like the first 2 years I just applied to like one job thinking that I was gonna get it based on like my skills, but I didn't like consider to try like any other place. I was just so set on like something else, and I managed to do that in my junior year, and that's how I ended up getting applied to like one of the jobs, which was the Boys and Girls Club too. So yeah, just like if just like maybe just consider like going for other options if like the first one doesn't work out entirely.
so like being more open-ended or open-minded of what jobs there are. Okay, yeah. Do you guys? I guess you're unemployed, so that's okay. But have you? Well, you're unemployed, but have you had experience with like job interviews, like actual like job interviews?
Just this last one I had for school, for like college corps and stuff, but low-key I don't even know if I'm gonna get the job.
They always like need people, so like the more people they have, the more chance we will get more money.
You said you're applying for job corps?
College corps.
college corps?
Yeah, but yeah, with school it's like I don't know how I'm gonna manage school, and that's why I'm trying to find like a summer job right now. But people are crazy, man. I don't know.
Dude, people who work 2 jobs and college at the same time are crazy. They're
Dude,
like,
I don't. Did you just say you don't have a life at that point?
Guys, I'm right here.
you work 2 jobs and in college?
College, the Boys and Girls Club, College Corps, and then like, well, I know you guys don't consider it as a job, but I still have you guys too.
No, I mean this is
yeah,
it's not
like,
a job, but like it's a huge commitment.
yeah,
like, that's
exactly.
crazy. Yeah.
But I don't think you like have that life anymore where you're like, hey, and I can do stuff. But you know, if you can manage it.
I have a few friends who do that 2 jobs in college, and they're crazy dudes.
The troopers, I salute you.
They're wild.
But we're also the ones that are making the most bank.
What do you guys think about, like, have you ever had like one of those like terrible job interviews, like first time job interviews or stuff like that, Leslie?
Oh.
Yeah, when I was I think it was like sophomore in college college, so BC.
Mm-hmm.
I applied for the Reading Cinemas theater at
Really?
the mall,
I want to
and I I went, and I was like me and then another kid who was getting interviewed, and I say kid because you could definitely tell he was like high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, I got this, like I feel very confident, but I walked in there, and it was this old lady, and she was asking me all of the questions, and I was making eye contact. I was making great things, and then it was like she drifted away, like if she got off topic, and I was like, what? Like,
Is this
like
still part of the interview? Or?
I was so confused because she started complaining about how there were so many teens working at the movie theater, and I was like, it's a movie theater, like your clientele are teens, they're young adults.
Right.
Like, yeah, they're adults that go, but like that's where you're getting your like most of your money from. Like, they're the ones that want to constantly go watch the new movie. And so, like, I guess she had asked me, she was like, oh, where do you go to school? And I was like, oh, I go to Bakersfield College. She was like, oh, okay. And she kind of wrote something down, and I was like, oh, did I not get the job? And we were walking out of the interview, and she was like, you should really focus on your education. And I literally walked out the doors, and I went, I'm not getting that job. She doesn't want me to get the job. She wants me to focus on my education. Why?
To this day, I'm still confused if I should like put that I'm in college when I'm like when I'm trying to apply for jobs, because some employers don't like that you're in college, because that means that you're like split somewhere else when you're trying to work and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But.
I know for high school, I tried applying for Panda. And you see, this was like my lesson that I learned to like know what to answer with these questions. Because they asked me like, what was I planning to do like it was like one of those questions where it's like, what was I planning to do in the future? What was I planning to do like after I graduate high school? And I just reply with, I don't know. Like, that was like my first.
But you don't say anything.
I know. That's what I was.
No, you would say, I see my future at Panda Express.
See, I was 16 at the time. That was my first interview, and I was too nervous. And then I remember trying to apply for John's Incredible Pizza. And then, like, I think one of the questions was like, what are you willing to do? And I just like basically just said like only like a couple of things I could do, instead of like saying, oh, I can do anything, like even clean the bathrooms. Like, I don't know. So those were like my two big mistakes when it comes to like answering to interviews. But I learned around that time, and look where I am now. Have a job now. So
employed.
Yeah.
Oh, Lex is employed. I'm employed. Alex is.
Working on it.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope anyone who's like trying to find a job right now could gain some insight from us. I hope you guys benefited from this. I mean, I benefited from hearing your guys' perspectives from like those familial expectations and stuff like that. But yeah, do you guys have anything else you want to say in the last couple minutes? Or?
Employers, if you're looking, I'm here.
Please hire Alex. She's desperate to find a job.
I'm awesome.
Please hire her. She's cool. But
if the work environment gets too hostile, leave. You have other options to work. I like that exactly. There are other options. Don't stay in that one.
Just be more confident.
Be more confident. Make sure your resume is cool.
Job applications are not scary.
Yeah. Use your resources. We got a lot of resources here in town. But okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.